Hey guys, welcome back to Max Velocity Tactical MVT. I know it's been a while since I've done a YouTube video, but I've been doing a lot of thinking and doing some sort of preparation as to what I wanted to do next. And so what I've got going on here is obviously I have my own particular background in infantry, airborne infantry, contracting, all that kind of stuff. But more recently here in the United States, I've been doing cowboy mounted shooting, and I've also been doing Civil War cavalry reenactment. And that kind of got me thinking. By the way, I should introduce Hank here. Hank's my horse. Okay, he thinks he's a good boy. All right. So what we're going to do here is I did some research into this, and so as part of this video I'm going to have my two boys come down dressed as Civil War and do some sort of Civil War demo stuff, just very simple here on this flat range area, and then I'm going to go out in the woods myself riding and hopefully get a video of that, and do some stuff here on the range on Hank. See, my general thought on this, and people may or may not agree with me, but having had a look at, stay here, come on, don't go anywhere. Having had a look at the Civil War, as in the 1860 Civil War, I think that the cavalry started off as cavalry, and as the war progressed from its Napoleonic kind of the way it was at the beginning, close order Napoleonic, and then obviously weapons increased and ranges increased, and people were in trenches and people were hiding behind fence lines and all that kind of stuff as the war moved on. And I think that the cavalry could really at some point be considered to be mounted infantry. Now, that's just an opinion. As I was doing some research, one of the things I bought was a book called The Equus Men, which is about 1970s-ish, around that era, Rhodesia and the Grey Scouts. And that's a very interesting book. And it's leading me to a number of conclusions. So if I'm talking about mounted infantry, I'm not attempting to take the horses into the contact zone. He's going to get in the way of my camera right now. Come on. So what I'm trying to do here is utilize horses for tactical mobility, to get to somewhere where we can lager up the horses under guard, etc., and then move forward to conduct whatever the objective would be. If you read the Equus Men, they'll talk about various situations where the Grey Scouts, they were contacted by Soviet weapon systems. This is the 1970s, so we're talking AK, RPK, RPG, excuse me, okay, let me be still, okay, and in an actual ambush, and that would result in chaos and guys dismounting at the gallop, and sometimes those horses would never be seen again. So we're not trying to sort of cowboy it up. We're not trying to do that kind of stuff unless there's a specific need to do so, but we would use the horses for tactical mobility to move into an area and then conduct the operation. And that leads me on to something. So gear and equipment. If we think about gear and equipment, so I'm actually dressed here as a dismounted infantryman, and I'm actually wearing a plate carrier. So what we've got to consider is how does this work in terms of the weight on the horse? And I've just got a trail saddle on the horse right now. I got no any other saddlebags or anything like that I might need to carry a particular weight. you're probably looking, depending on the weight of the rider, you're probably looking at something like 40 or 50 pounds of additional weight that can actually be carried by the horse. And that might also include your rifle. And that would therefore include anything you wear in terms of your equipment. So the Grey Scouts used to have a rule. They had very light saddles. They actually got the McClellan 1815, or one of the McClellan saddles, from around about the Civil War time, and then they recreated it using carbon fiber to make it super light, and they had a couple of saddlebags on the back of it. And their rule was that, including the weapon, which was an FN, that you wouldn't carry more than 40 pounds. So rider plus rifle, so not including the rider, so rifle plus chest rig and water and all that kind of stuff would be no more than 40 pounds. And obviously that's for out riding, you know, out in the bush all day, every day. But I would suggest this: if I'm wearing a plate carrier right now, I could also wear a chest rig. And one of the things that I would possibly suggest is that you don't so much look at other than the fact that the horse can only carry a certain amount of weight, so you don't exceed that, but maybe look more in terms of what it is that you're going to do when you get to your objective. So is it something that I'm going to need a plate carrier for, or is it something that a chest rig is going to be fine for? And I would suggest that that is what is going to be. Where are you going? Are you going to go around in a circle? Here we go. So he's probably going to poop right now. We'll see what happens. Okay, so that's probably more along the lines of what you're looking at. Okay. When I get up on the horse in a little bit, we'll talk about shooting positions, how hard it is to shoot in various positions, how to carry the weapon, that kind of issue. As I said, I don't have any additional front or rear saddlebags on this trail saddle right now. One thing I am going to do, which is kind of a little bit, maybe some people are going to not like this at all, but what I'm going to do is I'm actually, when I put the bridle on him, I'm going to keep the halter on him, and then I'm going to tie the halter up to the horn, which is very similar to what we do with Civil War, where we kind of have, it's called a headstall. Basically the headstall stays on, the halter goes on over the top, and then the rope gets tied up to the side of the horse. And what that means is, because you're out there, people might need to hold your horse, that kind of thing. It means that, and it's particularly useful for me today because I'm doing camera stuff, so I have to get down and do stuff with the camera. So it gives me the ability to get down and tie Hank up, and then mess around with stuff, and then get back on, that kind of thing. All right, guys. I hope this is going to be an interesting video. We're going to have some Civil War stuff. We're going to have me riding around through the woods. We're going to have some shooting on the range. And I hope you have fun. Thanks very much.
Look away, look away, look away, look away, Dixieland. In Dixieland, where I was born in early on the frosty morning. Look away, look away, look away, look away, Dixieland. I wish I was in Dixie. Hooray, hooray. In Dixieland, I'll take my son to live and die in Dixie. Away, away, away down south in Dixie. Now here's the
Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed the reenactment skit that we just did with Alex and Max playing the part. The idea was they were going to ride on, they were going to come across some enemy troops up there, they were going to engage on horseback, they were going to withdraw, tie their horses up, which obviously they tied them up to a modern intimidator, and then push forwards, fight on foot, withdraw to the horses, and then skedaddle out of here as quickly as possible. Just a little skit so you can see what's going on. Thanks very much, and I'll catch you next time. Oh, buddy. Go, come on. Okay guys, so went for a little bit of a ride around. Just a couple of things I want to point out to you. If we look on the right side here, okay, I got my rifle, which is slung across my body, which is very similar to the way guys would wear it in the Civil War, where they'd have a sling and it would hang from the sling. And then what would happen is, if you're going at a bit of a trot or whatever, you can always just put your hand down and just hold it to take the weight off it so it doesn't slam. Also think about it, be careful with that suppressor. You don't want to put that against the side of the horse after you've been using it, okay? The other thing that you can do, and you'll see me do it in the video, I've got a little head camera on so you might see part of me doing stuff, is we'll do the Civil War advanced carbines, okay? And all that is you bring it up and put the buttstock on the leg, and then you just ride like this, okay? And that can take a little bit of pressure off, okay, whatever you need to do, okay? And then obviously I've got my reins here. If I need to, engage something, then I can engage. Now, you can see that it's easy for me to engage off the left-hand side of the horse. It's not so easy for me to engage off the right-hand side of the horse. Okay guys, one of the things I want to point out is carrying a weapon slung down on the right-hand side, which is a pretty decent way of doing it. It's very similar to what the guys doing in the Civil War would do, where they'd have a strap around their chest and the sling would clip to it. So the carbine would clip to it and it would hang down by their sides. Now sometimes that thing's flapping around. You've got your saber on the left hand side, you've got your carbine on your right hand side. So what they would do is sometimes if you get up to a bit of a trot or whatever, they'll put their hand down and they'll just kind of take the pressure off the carbine like this, just kind of hold it, take the gravity off it as it were, okay? And then the other thing to do is what was called advanced carbines, where you bring the carbine up and put it on the top of the leg like this, and then you ride with it like this. And this is particularly useful if you're actually going to use the carbine as the next weapon that you're going to use, okay? But then obviously you'd have to drop it if you were going to draw sabers, etc. And so that's going to hang down here, and then obviously pistols, etc. So if I want to engage to my left hand side, okay, it's actually pretty easy for me to do so, because I can engage. I've got targets down here below the bank, by the way, so I can engage down here and down here, okay? Engaging to the right hand side is not really quite as easy. You can see the way I've got the weapon slung, okay? I'd probably have to get out of the sling. If I was to get out of the sling, and then I can transition the weapon, okay, and I can engage off the left-hand side. But that's the whole transition to left-handed shooter going on there. And that's probably a little bit more complicated than you want to be doing if you're on horseback and something really bad is going on, okay? Go. Come on. Okay. Okay. Just to show that you can engage the horse. He's a pain in the butt, but he's not running anywhere, he's not spooking, okay? Obviously it's a suppressor. Actual full-on AR fire is going to be a lot louder. You'll see that when the guys come, when you watch the part of the video where the guys are firing black powder, that's actually pretty loud. It's a lot louder than this. And then they are used to, cannon fire, that kind of deal, when they're on the reenactment battlefields. So there's a lot of things that cross over between the two, okay? All right, guys, I hope this is not like the last time I make one of these videos. I think we decided last night that the next time we're going to make one of these videos, I'm going to get my boys dressed up in modern tactical gear, get a helmet on, with the camera, as it were, so that we can actually go out and video ourselves, like patrolling through the woods and stuff, rather than just me going through the woods dressed in my modern gear. I think this is an exciting concept, guys. I like it. I realize that I've made everything even smaller and smaller and smaller, because not only are we asking you to be tactically trained, we're asking you to ride horses, have horses, be able to do this. So now we've got this many people doing it, okay? So, but it's great fun, all right? And of course I will continue to do my normal tactical training, but I'm just adding this because I think it's a great thing, and it really goes very well together with the things I'm doing with mounted shooting and in particular reenacting. And I really wanted to show what it might look like if you had a modern cavalry, as in mounted infantry guy, doing stuff, what that might look like. And what I probably need to get squared away for next is I'm obviously using a modern trail saddle. I'm not using my McClellan, okay, but I could use my McClellan. And that would come with all these parts, you know, like the lead rope and the halter and everything that come as part of it. And but I probably need to get some saddlebags on it, front and rear, that kind of thing, and then think about actually like how long I would be going out for, and how much I need to carry, and food for the horse, food for me, that kind of deal. Okay, and that's getting into longer term use of these horses. All right, guys. I hope you had a good video, and I'll see you later. Come on, buddy. Let's go.